Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing the GRE prep course from Target Test Prep. This course is becoming an increasingly popular prep option, and we see a lot of chatter about it on Reddit and in our YouTube comments. So today I'm going to break down how this course works, what we like and don't like about it, and ultimately whether we think it's an effective course for GRE prep. And just as a heads up, because I'll just be covering the major highlights and lowlights in this video, if you find you need some more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight, Target Test Prep GRE Review. Alright, so let's just kick this video off by kind of explaining how the TTP course works. Then I'll jump into the pros and cons and give you a quick verdict at the end. So the first thing that struck me when logging into the account was how clean their digital platform is. The dashboard is smartly organized with tabs at the top directing you to your different prep resources and tools. But that's a minor point. As for the substantive material, I like how Target Test Prep has organized their curriculum. Essentially, you get 40 study modules across two different phases. Phase 1 is the first 33 units, and Phase 2 is the remaining 7 units. Now, the first phase is all of your learning, including content review, test-taking skills, and lessons, while the second phase is all about practice. That's really just a series of 5 official GRE practice tests that you take and then review. In short, you work through all 40 study units, and when you're finished, you're ready to tackle the real exam. Now, within each module, you have 4 separate components. The unit kicks off with a review quiz where you answer a series of quiz questions which test you on material from past modules. This leverages the learning science principle of spaced repetition, which makes sure that you're retaining early material as you move along. Then, in the second part of each study unit, you work your lessons. Now, the lessons themselves are a series of short text chapters that spoon feed you material on the given topic for that unit. There's somewhere between 10 and 30 lessons per unit, but they're short and go pretty fast. Now, each lesson is text heavy, which isn't my favorite, as I'll get to later on, but I will say that each one is broken up with sample problems. Those are nice, as each sample problem is followed by both a text and video solution. You can read the model answer or just watch the quick video, which is helpful for visual learners. I personally favorite the videos as they're great in terms of substance, though they are a little dated in terms of production quality. They're essentially a problem on a digital whiteboard where the instructor makes notes on screen and tells you how to solve. From a content perspective, they're great, but the picture is a little grainy and the visuals aren't the best. But anyway, after you work through your lessons in the unit, you then take what TTP calls chapter test. This is a series of quizzes that test you on what you just learned across 3 different levels of difficulty: easy, medium, and difficult. And to be clear, you have to answer a certain percentage of questions correctly in each of these 3 categories in order to move on. And then finally, you wrap up with a review where you go over the problems that you missed and try to learn from your mistakes. You review each answer choice, where you went wrong, and take some quick notes to categorize your errors. And that's about it. Once you complete the 4 components within a unit, you move on to the next module. And it goes like that until you finish all 40 modules. So it's not really a complicated course structure, but it is effective. And that's actually a good point to discuss Target Test Prep's course options, because what I've described up to this point is the self-paced course. With TTP, you've got 2 options to take their course: the self-paced course or their course with live classes. That's it. We took the self-paced course, so I can't really speak to the live classes, but I have heard they're good. But in any event, here's the pricing breakdown for the different packages. The self-paced options range from around $149 per month for the subscription model to $399 for 6 months of access. Which self-paced option to go with just depends on how much time you need to study. And then alternatively, the course with live classes costs $999. That includes 40 hours of live online classroom instruction. Now, in comparison to other prep providers, TTP is a touch more expensive than budget prep providers like Magoosh and Achievable, but it's more approachably priced than bigger companies like Kaplan, Manhattan Prep, and Princeton Review. So I'd say overall, TTP is priced kind of in the middle of the road. However, with that said, I would just note that Target Test Prep is almost always running sales and special promotions where you can lock in lower rates, so make sure to check for that. In fact, I'll do my best to keep the description down below updated with their current sales and discounts, so make sure to check out that text below the video screen if you decide to go with TTP. Their typical sale is usually 10 to 15% off, so do not pay full price here. Alright, so now that you know how the course works, let's get to the pros and cons that we found. And the first strength of this course is its simple structure. I love the simplistic and straight line style of this curriculum. Your personal study plan guides you each step of the way, and you have this clear, bright line goal to get to. And then kind of piggybacking on that, I really like the structure of each learning unit. The classic pattern of learn, practice, review works really well here. Spaced repetition is incredibly powerful, and I was happy to see that TTP incorporates this with a review session in each unit, and the overall repeated unit organization was really effective. And I also like how TTP hits you with a series of sample problems mid-lesson to make sure you're paying attention and understanding. Now, I do wish it wasn't all text-based, as I'll touch on more here in a second in the cons section, but the lessons themselves are spot on, and the curriculum is super detailed. And then lastly, I really like the focus on mock exams at the end. There's usually no better way of improving your score than just hammering practice tests in the final weeks before the exam. It's what conditions you for the real thing, so I like that TTP teaches you everything you need early on, and then has you take and review a bunch of official practice tests in the days leading up to your exam date. That was a really smart and effective move in my opinion. Okay, so now let's flip over to the negatives. But before I get to that, I should just mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free prep course to one lucky person. It's really easy to enter and everyone is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description on how to get entered, but just know it takes like 10 seconds and hey, you never know, you could win yourself a totally free GRE prep course. Okay, so let's get to the cons. And the first one is how Target Test Prep is so heavy on quant. For whatever reason, their content covering the analytical writing and verbal sections is just much lighter, and quant is the clear focus here. If the verbal section is your strength and you don't really need too much help in that area, then you're going to be just fine with TTP. After all, quant is by far the hardest section of the GRE, and it's generally what gives students the most difficult time. But for those of you who do need a more comprehensive prep package that gives verbal more focus, international students come to mind for this, then you might want to think twice here. Then second, like I already talked about, I wasn't crazy how there's no content-based video instruction. It's just text. The video solutions to the sample problems are great, but it would be really nice to see TTP develop some more fulsome video lectures that attack large-scale content review and test-taking strategies. That would be a really big value add here. And then finally, there are no prep books with this course. I usually like a good textbook and think they add a lot of value, but I'm also less concerned in TTP's case. Their digital lessons sort of act as a book, and if you printed all of those digital chapters out and bound them, you'd actually have a killer textbook in its own right. But whether this is going to matter to you is just totally dependent on your learning style and your situation. But anyway, that about does it for the detail in this video, so let's get to my final verdict. Now, in my opinion, the Target Test Prep GRE course is a pretty strong overall program and has a lot to offer. With its 40 straightforward learning modules, 5 official GRE practice exams, and hundreds of video-based problem solutions, there's a lot to like here. Now, I wasn't thrilled about there being no prep books, and I found the text lessons to be a little dry at times, but the TTP course overall is still effective. I love their smart adaptive technology and streamlined lessons with built-in drills and example problems, so at its pretty reasonable price point, I wouldn't hesitate to go with TTP. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. I hope this video was helpful and you learned a little something about Target Test Prep. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and drop me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full, detailed written review of Target Test Prep that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website. Again, that's testprepinsight.com, or you can always check out the other videos we have on our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.